existence was destroyed by the People's Liberation Army in 1949. Since then, Chinese government has relentlessly attacked Tibet's cultural identity. In spite of this, I want to assure you that Tibet's indomitable spirit is resilient, unwavering, and ready for anything. We gather here today as a global community, not just Tibetans. Tibetan culture will not be erased from history as we rally for resilience. World leaders must condemn the oppressive regime that has turned our homeland into a prison. Tibetans face barriers to travel and access under China's iron grip. Chinese propaganda works tirelessly to erase Tibetan culture. Chinese leaders are relentlessly attacking Tibet's cultural richness, woven through centuries of art, music, literature, and a deep devotion to peace. Propaganda against the Dalai Lama is spread, journalists are arrested, and children are indoctrinated. Religious freedom is also attacked. The Chinese Communist Party views Tibetan Buddhism as a formidable obstacle. Monks and nuns face relentless persecution, and over 6,200 monasteries have been damaged or destroyed. Our religious freedom has been blatantly violated by the demolition of Tibet's Larungar Buddhist Institute. Beyond this, the Tibetan Plateau, a vital source of fresh water for over 1.5 billion people, is threatened. Chinese exploitations of Tibet's natural resources threatens our environment and the entire planet. We rally today for our sacred lands as well as ourselves. We are resolutely opposed to reckless plunder of Tibet's resources. Now, here's the call to action. Join us against China's oppression. Let's demand international pressure to liberate us from tyranny. Condemn China's removal of Tibetan language education, which is a desperate attempt to erase our rich culture and heritage. Demand access to Tibetan children in Chinese colonial boarding schools. Call for religious freedom in Tibet, and stand up for Tibet's sacred ecosystem. Let your voices force change, pressuring China to cease its destructive practices and work with us to protect our precious and scarce land and water resources. Together, united in purpose, our voices cannot be ignored. We stand on the right side of history, demanding justice, freedom, and the right to preserve our identity. Thank you.
Francisco hosts APEC 2023 under the resonating theme, Creating a Resilient and Sustainable Future for All. We stand at a critical juncture in our commitment to economic development and human rights. The profound interconnectedness between how governments and businesses conduct trade and economic growth and the protection of human rights cannot be overstated. Tibet, a region of a profound historical significance with a rich culture and identity, is entangled in a web of human rights challenges under Chinese rule. These challenges include severe restrictions on freedom of expression, religion, and forced culture assimilation and population transfer, and the ruthless suppression of a political dissent. These violations are further exacerbated by economic activities that show a blatant disregard for environmental sustainability, exploit natural resources, and perpetuate the forced labor of Tibetan people. This exploitation not only harms individuals but also leads to environmental degradation and further marginalization of the Tibetan population. As APEC champions economic growth and trade across the Asia-Pacific region, we must recognize our collective role in upholding human rights standards. This responsibility extends to our member economies, both within their own borders and in areas like Tibet under their influence. APEC must not unwittingly condone or support policies that contribute to human rights violations. Instead, we should proactively inspire and insist on a steadfast commitment to preservation of human rights and the culture of cultural diversity, and the pursuit of sustainable economic development. This time has come for APEC members to assume responsibility for addressing these pressing issues. Through open and constructive dialogue, robust cooperation, and renewed dedication to human rights, we can forge a future where economic developments in Asia-Pacific region align seamlessly with safeguarding and advancing human rights. Only then can we realize a lot characterized by the prosperity, equity, and sustainability. This future respects the dignity and rights of all who call the Asia-Pacific region home. Let us unite in the endeavor and make it a reality in San Francisco and beyond. Pegelo! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Pegelo!
For His Holiness. So long live! Long live! Lagartesh dile. To everyone but Xi Jinping and his CCP cronies. For 64 years, the Chinese government has unleashed untold misery, pain, suffering, a military colonialized occupation of Tibet. For 64 years, China is doing everything to erase Tibetan identity, Tibetan religion, Tibetan language, and the Tibetans' love for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. But for 64 years, China has failed every time. China has failed because of leaders like Xi Jinping, who look at a short-term profit while taking away a long-term heritage, culture, religion, power of what Tibet and the Tibetan people stands for. And most importantly, China has failed repeatedly to have Tibetans dismiss His Holiness the Dalai Lama. For 64 years, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has been living in exile. He's 88 years old, but still hopes within the Tibetan people in Tibet is that he will one day come back to Tibet, to his rightful throne at the Potala Palace and a free and independent Tibet. 168 Tibetans, some as young as 14 and 15 years old, have self-immolated, burned themselves, calling for Tibet's independence, calling for the return of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Over 1.2 million Tibetans killed, massacred after the Chinese occupation. Over 6,000 ancient temples destroyed. But Tibetans have not given up hope. Tibetans have not given up determination. Tibetans in Tibet will not give up until and unless Tibet is independent. The thing that we talk about most when we come to America is the freedom. We talk about how there is a democracy in Tibet, in America. But when the enemy of the state, when a dictator, when a murderer comes to this country, they lay down the red carpet. This person should be in handcuffs, not sitting and eating with the president. This person should be banned because of what he did in Tibet, in East Turkestan, what they did in Hong Kong, what he does in Taiwan, and to all the Chinese dissidents. And together we are raising the voice so that world leaders will acknowledge what's happening. And to all the CEOs who are paying $2,000 to go and eat dinner with this dictator, the business, the short-term profit that you bring into Tibet or East Turkestan is forced labor, is in concentration camps. Tibet has the largest supply of copper. There is untold mining happening in the Tibetan lands, where Tibetan nomads are displaced. Our way of life, our Tibetan way of life, living in the grasslands, are being taken away. Our language, in the mountains where Tibetan languages like Omane Pemehu were written, are being removed and Chinese proverbs are being put up. This is the kind of insecurity this government has. Yet, China has the audacity to say who the 15th Dalai Lama should be. Shame on China! Shame on China! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on everyone who supports and kowtows to the CCP government. Yesterday, We were at the airport. Xi Jinping landed. We saw about 20 minutes prior to that, President Biden drove. He had a motorcade, about 4 motorcycles and the Beast. The Beast is the Air Force where the president goes in. So they came in. And about 20 minutes later, the Chinese dictator comes in. There are 6 motorcycles. There are more cars than the President of America. Something is wrong. Shame on them. They have blood in their hands. Every time they sit and shake hands with this dictator, they have blood in his hands. I call on the leaders of California. How easy it is to remove homelessness because you want the dictator to have a good view.
Shameful.
How easy it is to curtail Tibetan, Uyghur, Taiwanese and Hong Kong protesters because they don't want this dictator to see it. Shame on this democracy. It is weak. This democracy is weak because it is dictated by a dictator. Shame on them. 64 years, we have not given up hope. We will never give up hope. As long as there's one Tibetan living in this world, we will keep fighting for Tibet's independence. And as long as His Holiness is not back in on the Potala Palace, Tibetans in Tibet will continue fighting for freedom, for Rangzen, for every human right that's necessary. So we call on world leaders to say that we are not going anywhere. We will be here even if it takes another 64 years, because the Tibetan movement is righteous, because the Tibetan freedom fight is right, and the Tibetan independence is our birthright. Pwegalo! 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 Tibet belongs to! Tibet belongs to! Shame on! Shame on! Long live! Long live!
이미 담당 원숭이 배는 인지 아니 대리 가서 되라 재미게 신지 시집에 들어가려 아니 대치도 맞지 게임이 자갈래 아니 배다도 내가 있으나다 배나라 아니 공지도 되잖아요 아니 배 나게 미도스 아니 다른 뭐체다 아니 재미 병바 바래라 시 재미지는 길시거든요 배다도 아니 가서 다 어떻게 뭐지 도샤 아니 소바 뭐지게 포지션이 되는샤 아니 말하는 게 아니 배자로 시
Tashtale. My name is Sering, and today I, along with 13 of my fellow Tibetans from Oregon and Washington State, are here on behalf of thousands of others who could not make the trip. Today we are gathered here to be the voice of our fellow Tibetans inside Tibet who are suffering under an oppressive Chinese regime. We are here today to be the voice for the millions of innocent Tibetan children who are forcefully separated from their parents and families and assimilated at residential schools. We are here to send a message strong and clear to Xi Jinping and his regime that we Tibetans will not remain silent so long as you keep the lives of our fellow Tibetans in Tibet under siege. We will stay united and steadfast in our struggle against the illegal occupation of our homeland. We speak with one voice that Xi Jinping's repressive regime will not control us. We speak with one voice that we will no longer tolerate the extreme repression that we have endured for the past 65 years. The spirit of our struggle will grow stronger with our new generation of Tibetans today, tomorrow, and until we are free
from the shackles of Xi Jinping and his oppressive PRC regime. We want to remind the leaders of the free world who are gathered here for the APEC summit. You can never achieve economic cooperation and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region as long as there remains a Chinese regime that violates human rights and maintain a policy of cultural genocide, atrocities against Tibetans, and the separation of millions of Tibetans, children, and from families, and forced assimilation at boarding schools. We appeal to you, President Biden, to stand up to the virtues of these words, the land of the free and home of the brave. Lead the leaders of the world and let Xi Jinping know that he needs to right the wrong, respect human rights, and respect the will of the Tibetan people in Tibet. Finally, I offer my earnest prayers for a healthy and long life of our most revered leader, His Holiness the Great 14th Dalai Lama. I pray to His Holiness that His Holiness will soon return to a free Tibet. Hey Gyalo! Hey Gyalo! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Hey Gyalo! Hey Gyalo! Out of Tibet now!
I'll be giving their statement. Gathered here today are people bonded through blood, sweat, and tears. We have faced the Chinese government's wrath, whether it be through the killing of our people, our culture being eradicated, or the exploitation of our land. Xi Jinping's actions are nothing short of being heinous. He has been eradicating Tibetan culture and has assimilated over 1 million Tibetan children into Chinese colonial boarding schools, where they are forced to speak Chinese, think Chinese, and be Chinese. This is an indefensible crime. The Chinese government actions extend beyond cultural oppression to encompass blatant human rights and forceful collection of Tibetan blood and DNA samples. This invasive and unethical practice has raised concerns about the potential for genetic surveillance and discrimination against Tibetans. In addition, Chinese government is responsible for the Tibetan climate crisis. Their illegal deforestation and mining inside Tibet have destroyed the Tibetan Plateau, which is a source of Asia's major rivers. Almost 1.35 billion people rely on this plateau for water, and Xi has led a relentless campaign of oppression, cultural erasure, and erosion of human rights. In the spirit of collective responsibility and commitment to human rights, we urge the international community to act against the violations this regime has enacted. We must stand up and demonstrate our devotion to human rights and justice. Xi Jinping's attendance at the upcoming APEC insults the principles of democracy, human rights, and environmental protection that APEC supposedly upholds. It is imperative that APEC members send a message not only to us, but those who call the Asian Pacific region home, that they will not tolerate the atrocities Xi Jinping has committed, and they will not overlook the gross human rights violation just for economic means. They must send a clear message to China's President Xi Jinping that he is not welcome and nor are his atrocities. Peggy Dakpo! Peggy Dakpo! Peggy Dakpo!
Justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want justice! We want freedom! We want freedom! We want freedom!
너무 좋은데. What do we want? We want freedom! We want freedom! We want freedom! United Nations! Watching you. Stop lying to the world. Xi Jinping, you're not welcome. Xi Jinping, you're not welcome. China lies. Freedom dies. China lies. People die. China, China, China. When? When? No. What? China lies. People die! Guilty of genocide! Guilty of genocide! Xi Jinping is guilty! Guilty of genocide! Xi Jinping is guilty! Guilty of genocide! Xi Jinping is guilty! Guilty of guilty! Xi Jinping is guilty! Out of Xi Jinping now! Xi Jinping is a murderer! Shame on murderer! No justice, no peace! Shame on Chinese government! No justice, no peace! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! China out of Tibet now! China out of Tibet now! China lost Tibet at time! China
China lies, Tibetan dies! China lies, Tibetan dies! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Chinese government! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping is a killer! Xi Jinping is a killer! Shame on killer! Shame on killer! Xi Jinping is a murderer! Xi Jinping is a murderer! Shame on murderer! Shame on murderer! No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
Stop the killing in Tibet! Stop the murders in Tibet! Stop the murders in Tibet! Stop the genocide in Tibet! Stop the genocide in Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Religious freedom in Tibet! Religious freedom in Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet now! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet now! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free no longer touching it!
We are passionate, we care about our country, we care about our people, we care about the world, and we are here finally to say, no more, enough, thank you. Free Tibet! 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 Tibet will be free! We will never give up! Tibet belongs to Tibetans! Tibet will be free!
China, stop lying to the world! We have to be free! Xi Jinping is lying!
Xi Jinping's a killer!
Xi Jinping's a killer!
Shame on killer!
Shame on killer!
Jinping's a liar! Xi Jinping's a liar! Shame on liar! Shame on liar! Xi Jinping's a killer! Xi Jinping's a killer! Shame on killer! Shame on killer!